Bonsoir. Welcome to the newcomers and welcome back for the other. Right now, let's dig in chapter 6. The rain faltered when the spirit fled. I'd only broken the one, but the other ran too, back to whatever pools they haunted. Maybe my one had been their leader. Maybe men become coward in death. I don't know. As to my own cowards, they had nowhere to flee, and I found them easily enough. I found Macon first. He, at least, was headed back toward me. "So, you found the purse then?" I called to him. He paused a moment and looked at me. The rain didn't fall so heavy now, but he still looked like a drowned rat. The water ran in rivulets over his breastplate, in and out of the dance. He checked the marsh to either side, still nervy, and lowered his sword. "A man who's got no fear is missing a friend, Jorg," he said, and a smile found its way onto those thick lips of his. "Running ain't no bad thing. Leastways if you run in the right direction." He waved a hand toward where Rick wrestled with a clump of bulrushes, the mud up to his chest already. "Fear helps a man pick his fight. You're fighting them all, my prince." And he bowed, there on the leechway with the rain dripping off him. I spared a glance for Rick. Michael had similar problems in a pool to the other side of the road, only he'd got his problem up to the neck. "I'm going to fight them all in the end," I said to him. "Pick your fights," Macon said. "I pick my ground," I said. "I'll pick my ground, but I'm not running, not ever. That's been done, and we still have the war. I'm going to win it, brother Macon. It's going to end with me." He bowed again, not so deep, but this time I felt he meant it. "That's why I follow you, Prince, wherever it takes us." For the moment, it took us two fishing brothers out of the mud. We got Michael first, even though Rick howled and cursed us. As the rain thinned, I could see the grey and the head cart off in the distance. The grey had the sense to keep to the road, even when Michael didn't. If Michael had led the grey into the mire, I'd have left him to sink. We pulled Reich out next. When we reached him, the mud had almost found his mass. Nothing but his white face showed above the pool, but that didn't stop him shouting his foulnesses at all the way. We found most of them on the road, but 6 got stuck down too quick, lost forever. Probably getting ready to hunt the next band of travelers. "I'm going back for Old Gomsty," I said. We'd come away down the road and the light had pretty much gone. Looking back, you couldn't see the gibbets, just grey veils of rain. Out in the marsh, the dead waited. I felt their cold salt crawling on my skin. I didn't ask any of them to go with me. I knew none of them would, and it don't do for a leader to ask and be told no. "What do you want with that odd priest, Brother Jorg?" Macon said. He was asking me not to go. Only he couldn't come and say it. "You still want to burn him up?" Even the mud couldn't hide Rick's sudden cheer. "I do," I said, "but that's not why I'm getting him." And I set off back along the leechway. The rain and the darkness wrapped me. I lost the brothers, waiting on the road behind. Ghost and the gibbet lay ahead. I walked in a cocoon of silence, with nothing but the soft words of the rain and the sound of my boots on the leechway. I'll tell you now, that silence almost bet me. It's a silence that scares me. It's a blank page on which I can write my own fears. The spirits of the dead have nothing on it. The dead one tried to show me hell, but it was a pale imitation of the horror I can paint on darkness in a quiet moment. And there he hung, Father Ghost, priest to the house of Ancras. "Father," I said, and I sketched him a bow. In truth, though, I was in no mood for play. I had me a hollow ache behind my eyes, the kind that gets people killed. He looked at me wide-eyed, as if I was a bog spirit crawled out of the mere. I went to the chains that held his cage up. "Brace yourself, Father." The sword I drew had slit old Bovid Thor not 24 hours before. Now I swung it to free a priest. The chain gave Venice its edge. They'd put some magic or some devilry in that blade. Father told me the Anchoress yielded it for 4 generations and took it from the house of Or. So the steel was old before we Anchoress first laid hands upon it. Old before I stole it. The bird cage fell to the pass, hard and heavy. Father Gums cried out, and his head hit the bars, leaving a livid crosswork across his forehead. They bound the cage with wire. It gave before the age of our ancestral sword, twice stolen. I thought of Father for a moment, imagined his face twist in outrage at the use of so high a blade for such lowly work. I've got a good imagination, but putting any emotion on the rock of Father's face came hard. Gums crawled out, stiff and weak, as the old should be. I liked that he had the grace to feel the years on his shoulders. Some of the years just stiffened. "Father Gumst," I said, "best hurry now, or the marsh dead may come out to scare us with their wailing and moaning." He looked at me then, drawing back as if he'd seen a ghost, then softening. "York," he said, all full of compassion, brimming with it, spilling it from his eyes as if it wasn't just the rain. "What has happened to you?" I won't lie to you. Half of me wanted to stick the knife into him there and then, just as with red face Gempt, more than half. My hand itched with the need to pull that knife. My head ached with it, as if a vice were tightening against my temples. I've been known to be contrary. When something pushes me, I shove back, even if the one doing the pushing is me. It would have been easy to get him then and there, satisfying. But the need was too urgent. I felt pushed. I smiled and said, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." And old Gumsty, though he was stiff from the cage and sore in every limb, bowed his head to hear my confession. I spoke into the rain, low and quiet. Loud enough for Father Gums, though, and loud enough for the dead who haunted the marsh about us. I told of the thing I'd done. I told of the things I would do. In a soft voice, I told my plans to all with ears to hear. The dead left us then. "You're the devil!" Father Gums took a step back and clutched the cross at his neck. "If that's what it takes." I didn't dispute him. "But I've confessed, and you must forgive." "Abomination!" The word escaped him in a slow breath. "And more besides," I agreed. "Now forgive me." Father Gums found his wits at last, but still he held back. "What do you want with me, Lucifer?" "A fair question." "I want to win," I said. He shook his head at that, so I explained. "Some men I can bind with who I am. Some I can bind with where I'm going. Others need to know who walk with me. I've given you my confession. I repent. Now God walks with me, and you're the priest who will tell the faithful that I am his warrior, his instrument, the sword of the Almighty." A silence stood between us, measured in heartbeats. Ego te absolvo. Father Gums got the word past trembling lips. We walked back along the path then, and reached the other by and by. Macon had them lined up and ready, waiting in the dark with a single torch, and the hooded lantern hung up on the head cart. "Captain Bortha," I said to Mackin, "time we set off. We've got a whiz before us till we reach the horse coast." "And the priest?" he asked. "Perhaps we'll dare pass the toll castle and drop him off." My headache bit hard. Maybe it was something to do with having an old ghost hunt its way through the very marrow of my bones. But today my headaches felt more like somebody prodding me with a stick, herding me along, and it was really beginning to fuck me off. "I think we will call it in at the toll castle." I ground my teeth together against the dagger in my head. Handle Gloomsteel here over in person. I'm sure my father has been worried about me. Rick and Michael gave me stupid stares. Fat Burlow and Red Kent swapped glances. The Nubbin rolled his eyes and made his words. I looked at Mackin, tall, broad in the shoulder, black hair plastered down by the rain. "He's my knight," I thought. "Gums is my bishop. The toll castle, my rook." Then I thought of father. I needed a king. You can't play the game without a king. I thought of father, and it felt good. After the dead one, I'd begin to wonder. The dead one showed me his hell, and I had laughed at it. But now I thought of father, and it felt good to know I could still feel fear. That is the end of chapter 6. See you next time. Bye.